Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So, 11 years ago, a tier 1 mining company came to us after a serious health and safety accident occurred on one of their sites. After looking at this, what happened is someone was doing some maintenance on a piece of equipment and they were using an old work procedure document. So we wanted to find out and deep dive what exactly went wrong here, what led to that old document being used. And we found a couple of things. The first thing being that there were too many sources of truth. So relating to this one asset, you had all these different platforms that had documents and information relating to that one thing. The other thing being, each of these platforms had their own authentication hurdles. So they had authentication apps and passwords that users needed to remember and log into each of these systems before they reached those documents. A combination of these things ultimately led to users logging into those systems once, downloading the file, and then storing it onto their desktop. And the issue with that is they would have no idea if that document has been updated in the future. So we thought, what can we do to prevent this happening in the future? We need to collate all these sources of documentation and just create one kind of platform. So we needed to make it easier to work the right way than for people to do the wrong thing and download these files to their desktop. If we did collate all this information into one spot, it would mean that people would only need to log in to one platform. That would get rid of the authentication hurdles. But if we just got all these files and put them in one place, it would mean that we'd have thousands of documents and thousands of folders, and we'd have issues with that as well. So we needed it to be organized in a way that would allow for fast access. So we were doing a lot of 3D animations and work at the time, and we thought, let's get all this information and put it into a 3D representation of that mine site. We'll create a digital twin. So we started planning this digital twin, and then that's when we started to see some challenges arise. The first thing being the size of these things. So mines are massive environments, and the engineering models we had millions of CAD nodes. So these things are very detailed. So you've got a really detailed model, and then you're combining that just with your average company laptop, something that's designed to browse the internet, send emails, maybe a bit of YouTube as well. So how can we get something so big to work on a really average laptop? If you combine these two things with really poor internet connections that mine sites are notorious for, and also wanting to provide really good value for our customers and a fast return on investment, how could we do this? We were kind of stumped. And then we had a light bulb moment. So our founder, Doug, was sitting down and playing some video games with his son. I think it was Call of Duty or something similar. And Doug realized that his son was able to navigate through these really complex environments with ease, and the computer he was using had no trouble at all in doing so. So we thought, why can't we use the same programs and same technology used to create these video games and apply that to our digital twin? So that's what we did. And we've called it Indie. It's our industrial digital interface. So by leveraging off a program called Unity, which is used to create games like Pokemon Go and Super Mario Run, we were able to take its best features and combine them with some clever development to create a digital twin that solved all of those challenges that we were facing. The really good thing about leveraging off Unity as well is that when a new feature does arise, like compatibility with VR, for example, we're able to adopt that into our digital twin and pass that on to our customers really quickly. So what better way to explain it than to show you? So we've got a video here of someone entering in an asset code and then getting flown directly to that asset. So you can either find things this way, or you can navigate through as you would in a standard video game. This next video is another feature we've developed called cards. So you're getting a really clear and quick indication of how everything on the site is going and what the health of your assets are. And this third video is just showing how we can tie multiple data sources together and tie them to the asset. So we've got some live data being shown here, but we can tie things like CCTV, work instruction documents, and show also historic values of information. So going back to that first case study where they had the incident on site, we've seen that the company that has adopted, that particular company, has adopted Indy into all their sites across Australia, and they've estimated that there's cost savings of over $3 million per year, that's Australian as well, just through improved efficiencies. And most importantly, that software is saving lives by providing the right documentation to people at the right time. That's all I have time for today. I would love to answer more of your any questions that you have. I'll be at the Sentient booth, and it'd be great to connect as well. Thank you so much for your time. Cheers.